Rising fuel, food, energy and other bills means more of us are feeling the squeeze in this cost of living crisis. Both governments have promised help, but the calls have grown to hit the oil and gas firms harder with a one-off windfall tax on profits. It's a call that has ramped up today with BP's announcement that it's more than doubled its underlying profits in the first 3 months of this year compared with the same quarter last year.
Is another reinforcement of how important it is to introduce a windfall tax on the excess profits of the North Sea oil and gas companies. That money could actually be going into supporting working families to up to £600 off their energy bills.
But interviewed today on Good Morning Britain, the Prime Minister again set out his objection to the windfall tax.
If you put a windfall tax on the energy companies, what that means is that you discourage them from making the investments that we want to see that will, in the end, keep energy prices lower for everybody.
BP has reported about £16 billion in losses for the first quarter as it pulled out in deals in Russia after the war in Ukraine.
BP is probably disproportionately exposed to Russia. Half the reserves, third of the production and a fifth of the profit is linked into the kind of Russia situation. So of course you take that out, has a massive impact on the financial books. We'll see other impacts coming in, but not to the same extent of what BP has.
This morning, protesters blocked an oil terminal in Glasgow as they called for more to be done to halt oil developments.
I've lived in Glasgow for 8 years and I was here during COP and we saw the leaders, we saw the pledges, but the pledges mean nothing if we don't do action. You can't cut emissions by increasing fossil fuel extraction and burning more fossil fuels.
After Russia started the war in Ukraine, oil and gas prices soared. That helped to drive the profits that we've seen from BP during a period of time that they described as exceptional trading. They have promised to invest £18 billion into the UK by the end of the decade, but it's becoming harder both politically and for the industry to deter calls to be taxed more during a time when millions are facing higher energy and fuel bills. But the industry say a windfall tax would deter investors, and already they say firms pay billions in tax.
Our industry is taxed at a higher rate than the rest of the economy. 40% of the profits that companies across our industry make. And because companies are making more money at the moment, they are paying more taxes. At the moment, companies in the sector are paying on as a whole about £20 million per day in taxes from the production of oil and gas here in the UK. And over the next 5 years, we expect industry to pay something in the region of £23 to £24 billion.
This is a debate that will continue to rumble on. How to help those facing rising bills, who should help pay for it, and when will more help arrive? Stephen Brown, STV News.